I'm Darla Beam with DV Leadership, and I'm looking forward to talking to you today about one of my favorite topics, if not my favorite topic, and that's being or being present and the difference between doing and being. I know these aren't traditional sort of leadership topics, and this is becoming a little more mainstream, right? Being present, being in the moment. We're hearing about this in the office and in our systems, in our family systems, in our relationships. So, what does being or being present mean? And why is it important? Being present simply means being in the flow, being in a state of complete and total relaxation. It's like an athlete, right, who gets on the pitcher's mound and he's pitching and all he knows is the ball and the plate. Nothing else. He doesn't hear the fans. He doesn't hear his teammates. He's just in his zone. That's what being present is like. And so, what's important about being? When you are in a state of presence, the quality of what we do is so much more impactful, right? There's such a greater impact. And I don't necessarily mean greater in terms of it's bigger or it's louder or it's flashier. What I mean is it's power, right? It's energy, the energy behind it. Great. So now we know what being is as opposed to doing. We all know what doing is, right? And we know why. How? The question is how, right? So how do we balance doing and being? Because some people think that if I'm being all the time, then I won't get anything done, right? So there's like this resistance, or being is a byproduct of doing. If I do, then I'm gonna get to a place where I can just be relaxed. I can just be retired. I can just, be on my vacation, right? And the truth is that we're always in a state of being and doing. So how do we balance that? And the metaphor that I like to use is like taking being and making it into a circle, or like the eye of a needle, right? And taking being and threading, right? Threading doing. So the thread is the doing, and threading it through the needle. And then I take this needle, and this is the needle that I use to sew together the tapestries of my life, right? And those are all the interactions, all the relationships, all the things that I've accomplished or done. Those are my tapestries. And when I thread the doing through the being, those tapestries are much richer. Those relationships are more vibrant. Those situations are much more powerful and impactful. And that's why I like to thread the doing through the being. And I'm sure you can think of times where you weren't grounded in being. Most of us live in that place, and I'm talking about myself most of the time, right? And so I want you to compare that and contrast that with a time when you were on purpose and you were being. You really were living your most fulfilled life and felt like you were bringing the doing through the being. And just kind of notice that. And what I want you to do is just practice that. Practice that today for just a little bit. Go to your next meeting, go to your next interaction, talk to your kids, and really get yourself grounded in being. How do you do that? You can do it a lot of different ways. You can do it through your body, through your breath. Some people work out, and that's how they get to their state of flow, to their being. Some people do yoga. But if you're listening to this right now, if you just want to stop and just take a deep breath and just notice without thought how that feels, just notice for a second that you're in being right now. One breath can bring you to being. It doesn't have to be a whole meditation practice, although it can be, right? So I want you to practice this. I want you to play with this. I want to hear how it's going, right? Thread your doing thread through your being needle and see how it impacts your tapestry of life. Thanks for being here with me today and listening and spending so much time. I want to hear back from you, and I want you to have an amazing day. Take care and look for more content in the future.